music. There's a few things I realized about gospel music too, man. Like, you ever listen to some of them old school gospel songs? Them old school gospel songs, they was interesting because every song, they was ready to die. That's all they sang about was dying and going to heaven. And every song. Like, you turn on the old school greatest hit CD, all you hear is, I'm going up yonder. Next song, I'm going away. Next song, soon we'll be done with the troubles of the world, going home to live with God. Like, you ain't got nothing to do tomorrow. Like, that's all you want to do is die. You just want to wake up and die. That's your agenda for today. Like, let me wake up so I can go to heaven. That's all I want to do. It don't make no sense.
Greetings and what up, doe? It is your boy, Jason Jamerson. And this is the Jason Jamerson podcast. I think I'm going to talk like this from now on, Kev. This is the Jason Jamerson podcast. With me, as always, is my man, 100 grand, my cousin, Kev B. Jackson.
What up, man? That was too long. It took too long.
Too long intro talk, too slow?
What up, though, cuz? How you doing?
Oh, man, I'm good.
I'm loving the mood. I'm loving the vibes. Loving the vibes.
Hey, man, listen, I'm feeling good. Just been laid back, you know what I'm saying? Just chilling. You know what I'm saying? Man. Welcome, everybody. This is the Jason Jamerson podcast. I am your host, Jason Jamerson. And yeah, we about to have some fun. We gonna have some fun. We got some things we're gonna talk about. But first, as always, per usual, Kev, how was your weekend?
My weekend was cool, bro. The women's Final Four was in town. Went to some of the events. It was a love. Shout out to South Carolina. They did their thing. That's who I was rooting for.
I remember you said that.
Yeah. But also shout out to UConn. The fans showed love. It was cool. They got some ballers on their team as well. So it was good vibes. How was yours?
Oh, man, it was fantastic.
What'd you do?
Fantastic. Friday, I had a comedy show, and it was much bigger than I thought it would be. I did my thing. It was actually the regional conference for the Masons and Eastern Stars. So there's about 600 people there, and it was dope. It was myself, hosted by Simply Chanel, and Mike Larry was also on the show.
Okay. Shout out to Mike Larry. Shout out to Chanel.
Yes, sir. Simply Chanel.
Shout out to Chanel.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So there was that. Saturday didn't do much. I actually I watched that new Cheaper by the Dozen movie on Disney Plus.
Okay.
I actually liked it a lot.
Did you watch it with Gizmo?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I wasn't about to sit there and watch it by myself.
Happy birthday. Happy belated birthday, Gizmo. Happy birthday.
Yesterday was Gizmo's birthday. Yeah, she was happy. She was able to come to work with me after she got out of school as I trained my last few people. And yeah, it was a good time.
Okay.
It was a good time. Well, man, no, that was about it.
Oh, congrats. Congrats. I was excited to hear about your shows. I definitely want to come to one of them. Hey, we got one down, many more to go.
Oh, yeah. I got 3 more shows this week. I got one tomorrow for Habitat for Humanity at Mark Ridley's Comedy Castle. You can still, I believe those tickets are still available. I don't think it's sold out yet. I know they were saying it's getting close. I have a show on Friday. I got 2 shows on Friday. One show is at 6 at I can't remember the name of the place. But it's a banquet hall on the west side of Detroit. Is myself and my man Boogie, Alton Boogie Williams. And then on at 9:00 on Friday, I got another show out in Memphis, Michigan. Never been to Memphis, Michigan. Don't know where Memphis, Michigan is, which is why I've been trying to recruit people to ride with me, so I at least have a witness rolling in the car with me.
I don't know, where is that at? I hope Memphis, Michigan has a little soul. That's what I hope. You know what I mean?
Judging by the pictures of the other people on the flyer, it may not. But That's why I'm trying
so
to.
you bring a soul to Memphis. That's what
Hey
you do.
man, listen, that's what I do. You know what I'm saying? That's what I gotta do. You know, some people like being a thermostat, some people like being a thermometer. You know, I'm a thermostat out here in these streets. So yeah, but no, yeah, I was trying to find somebody to ride with me because whenever I go places I've never been before, I would like to have a witness and or some sort of physical support with me.
What day is it?
Friday night.
Okay.
April
Where
9th.
at? Where's
April
that
8th,
at?
I'm
Where
sorry.
in the state? Like where?
I googled it and it says about an hour away, so I didn't see exactly
Okay.
where. You know, I did my soft
Let's look at
my
it. All
soft
right.
my soft investigating. I ain't go in on it yet.
Well, speaking of soul, bro, did you see the Paula Patton video? She was making the chicken.
I didn't see it, but a lot of people sent it to me. I ain't gonna hold you up. I'll be training people, so I don't even be seeing it sometimes. Like I'll see that people sent it and I'll get a chance to watch it.
Well, here's the premise. She said her mom taught her this recipe to make fried chicken.
Mm-hmm.
I watched the video. She washed the chicken and then bagged it and some fresh flour and put some avocado oil in the pan, heated it up, and fried it, and then seasoned it. And she said that's how her mama made it. That's pretty much the premise of it. It's not the traditional way I've normally cooked fried chicken, but it's a very unique way of doing it. I don't think you get the results that I want. And
Yeah.
so,
No, she made chicken and flour. That's what she made.
Yeah, I don't get those aren't the results that I want, but she said she learned it from her mother. So I mean, it's very unique. That's who you will learn it from is your mother, or whoever taught it to you would be the closest person. So, you know,
I'm gonna have to check to see if if I'm not mistaken, Paula Patton is mixed.
okay.
And that may be on the Caucasian side is where she got that recipe. As you know, us African American folk, that flour don't even look white no more before we throw the chicken in it. It just be looking like dirty flour. Just be like, oh yeah. Why you frying the chicken in cornmeal? That ain't cornmeal, baby. That ain't cornmeal. That is seasoning. So yeah. I mean, hey, if it worked for her, you know, it's not like she about to invite me to come over to eat any of it no time soon. So if that's what she like, that's what she like.
I mean, the food was cooked. It was done. So
yeah. Well, what if that's the reason why Robin Thicke and her broke up? Like Robin Thicke, just like he was like, "Baby, where's the seasoning?" She's like, "I seasoned it after I brought it out the pan." Yeah, he made a song. "Lost Without You" was really about seasoning. That wasn't about her at all. I'm lost without you. That's a song about lorries. he needed the lorries. Lost without you. Can't help myself. He made a love song to season salt. That's what's up. Shout out to Robin Thicke.
that was a whole skit.
Yeah, well, you know, sometimes my brain just be going that way sometimes. But yeah. But yesterday was my child's birthday, so I was not able to watch the men's national championship game.
Okay.
It seems as if you did.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good game. I can't say that it had my attention the whole time, like I more anticipated, but it was a good game. The comeback was nice. It was steady. I was surprised to see them come back. I thought North Carolina was a shoe-in, and that game was also in New Orleans as well. So maybe having a long night, a long weekend got into some of the players. I know that's a factor, or just or mitigating the temptation to do so. It's harder in a city like that than some other cities, right? So
this is true.
That's the competitive nature of me saying, like, how could you let a comeback happen? When you're up 14 plus points.
Yeah, from the highlights I watched, it looked like a complete and total shift, like from the first half to the second half. It's like, like they just was missing shots, turning the ball over. It looked like two totally different teams.
Yeah, so it was a pretty good game. It's nice to see that. So overall, I think that for us, now it's time to start watching NBA.
Yeah, this is about the time where I really start diving into the NBA. You know, I'm not really an NBA guy during the regular season, but once the playoffs start kicking up, I just be like, all right. Like I'll pay attention. I keep my ears to the streets, but I don't really watch the NBA until after the regular season. So yeah, you know me, I'm a football guy. Right now, the NFL draft is out here getting real close, and I'm loving it.
Wait, when is that?
The draft is in 23 days. I got a countdown going.
What's
the
the date? You know?
28th, April
Okay.
28th.
How do you celebrate?
Well, I used to throw draft parties, and by I say draft parties, I meant me and my stepbrother used to just come over here and watch the draft. Because unfortunately, I don't know a lot of people who are into the NFL draft as much as I am. I mean, everybody does a Super Bowl, but like NFL draft start coming along, I start like researching prospects like I'm getting paid for it, like I'm an analyst.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So right now, I can tell you right now who are some good picks and who are some bad picks for certain teams. But
Okay. I only get interested when it's someone I know or has a good chance of going, or like when I was in undergrad, I paid more attention because like I knew people who were kind of going through it, or if I just like catch on to someone. Otherwise, I don't pay as much attention. I didn't play football growing up either, so I feel like for me, I don't have the same connection I have with like other sports, and so it doesn't get prioritized. But I've been to some parties and it's been dope.
and football to me is like, I didn't play football, but I played a lot of chess. And football is more of a chess game than anything because like you got talented people on both sides of the ball, but really, like that's why I say any given Sunday, you have no idea what kind of game plan this other coach may have that may just be good enough to beat the super all-star team. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no reason why Tom Brady, when he was on the Patriots and Randy Moss was on the team and whatnot, there's really no reason why they should have lost, like skill and talent wise. There's no reason why they should have lost to the Giants with Eli Manning and random receivers or whatever. But because the coaches, you watch the tape, you come up with a game plan. As long as people are where they're supposed to be when they're supposed to be there, it should work. And it's just game plan versus game plan. And that's what I like about it. It's a thinking man's game.
Yeah. So I know over the pandemic, we've talked a lot about your business, kind of talked with a lot of, since we started the podcast, talk with other comedians about their business. And a lot of them have been Black people, people of color. A lot of people in our networks have been starting their own business as well and starting their own Black-owned brands. I see you got a hoodie on. I was wondering, was that a Black-owned brand?
This is actually my man Josh Adams' brand. So slept on.
Shout out to Josh.
Josh Adams is a comedian. He feels as though, and I feel like the world is sleeping on his comedy. And so, it's not just for comedy at all. A lot of times people just feel like they slept on, whether they at work, wherever the case may be. But at some point, people gonna have to wake up, can't sleep forever.
Okay.
But yeah. I like to support everybody, that I can. As far as the people that I know, Black-owned brands, I always look Black-owned first before I go somewhere else.
Okay. What other brands are you supporting?
I always go Brian Wilbur at Stone Jungle. If you look at my closet right now, the majority of my shirts say Stone Jungle. It got the big old lion on it, Stone Jungle. That man's clothing line is basically my wardrobe outside of gym clothes. He also prints up my shirts, the Jason Experience shirts and hoodies. Whenever I have big orders, I go to him. I also know somebody, Blank Space Clothing, or Blank Space Printing. I'm sorry. And that is another person I know who prints shirts. Whenever I do smaller orders, I always go to her. Always split the black dollar up. Keep it circulating all over the place. But she doesn't just do shirts. She does shirts, water bottles, mugs, hats, whatever, anything that can get printing on banners, anything like that. So I also go to Elevated Coaching and Counseling for my therapy. Because we be out here doing therapy these days, you know what I'm saying? And then also I had another one in my head. It was clothing. Joy Alame hair. She always is the one, black brands is the first place I look, period. But those are the ones I do frequently, as far as yeah.
You mentioned therapy. How often do you go to therapy?
Well, after last week, I gotta go once a week. I had an interesting session last week. I was going once a month. Had an interesting session. There's a lot of stuff that happened. I got kicked out, and I got brought back in. And then she told me she needs to see me every week, once a week instead of once a month. So, yeah.
You good?
Oh, I'm good. I'll tell you what it is. I don't know if it's just me personally, or if it's as a black man or a father or a husband, whatever the case may be. It is very hard for me to do things for myself unapologetically these days. And that is one of the things that I'm supposed to be working on. But for like the last month, it's been very difficult. I think like every Wednesday I've cut out time for just me. And I think like one of those Wednesdays out of the last month, I've actually done something for myself. And I felt bad when I did it. I was like, dang, I could have been doing something else. I could have made a skit. I could have did this. So it's in my head, it's always something that I should be doing outside of it's like no time for leisure. There's no. That's how I feel.
What are things like that for you?
And that's the other problem. I've been comedian, trainer, husband, father so long that when it does come to me doing something for myself that I just enjoy doing overall, I have no personal interests have kind of diminished, besides playing Madden. I could say working out, but that's for me now, because if I don't work out, I start feeling random aches and pains from when I used to work at the Gordon Food Service warehouse. That's more like a necessity than a leisure these days. So yeah, that's another reason why I'm taking these time on Wednesday, is so I can figure out what I'm interested in again. So
okay. So are you saying like, I thought that, I'm not saying everything is glitz and glamour, but I always assume you did comedy because that's what the outlet was. You know what I mean?
No, outlet is. I don't necessarily have an outlet. Comedy is more. It's a passion, but it always. How to put it? When it's a passion that you want to do for a living, at some point there are going to be times where it feels like work.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Especially when you actually need the money to be coming in from that, and it's not coming in as fast as you would like it to, but the bills are coming in on time every month. He was like, "Oh shoot! Like I need another booking." And there's so many comedians, and only so many stages you can get on. So it's like, I could do a show this week. I could do every show that's in the city this week, but and be like the feature or the headliner and get paid, right? But then next week they got to get somebody else because they just saw me, and there's so many other comedians. I might not get booked again for the shows that are weekly. I might not get booked again for another 2-3 months because they just saw me. So then it's like, all right, I need to get booked at like a church or a birthday party or something like that, which are really more lucrative because those are the ones that usually hit me up and ask me how much I charge versus them telling me what they have in their budget. And so, yeah, once those happen, which are right now they're picking up, which is making everything a lot better. But when it was colder or once COVID happened, it was like, I had nothing. I couldn't. It started getting a little stressful But then one thing that I did notice though, and I'm sure if you remember any of my comedy from when you came and saw it, a lot of my comedy just comes from real life experiences. Um, and with COVID, and everything, there's only so much life I've been living because I have to make sure I'm safe while I'm out. So I try not to be out doing a bunch of extra stuff. Come back home, and there's only so much about my daughter, the home life I can talk about on stage before it's like, all right, give us something else. You know what I'm saying? So that was one of the things that one of the things I have to start really working on with myself is coming up with or finding hobbies or interests outside of things that are supposed to be work. So I don't know if you muted yourself on purpose, but you are definitely muted.
Yeah, bro. I hear what you're saying. The passion becomes a job at some point, when it demands a certain amount of time and consistency to get what you want and what you're trying to go after. Or maybe you don't know, but you're putting other things to the side for this as well. So I get it. And that can be challenging. You got to make big decisions sometimes. And maybe something that was a priority no longer becomes one, or maybe you have to find new priorities based on what life gives you as well.
Yeah. Yeah, man. And it's excuse me. Like, so I tell people all the time, like I was basically like bred to get into entertainment. So like there was nothing coming up on my mind other than entertainment. So it's like I have no college degree or I graduated high school. I got that diploma. So it's like it's like this or nothing. And when that's the case, like even if I did decide to go back and get like a degree or anything like that, it wouldn't be, I don't feel like it'll financially be beneficial, but I saw when I was working at the Gordon Food Service warehouse, I was making a ton of money there, but I hated every second because my body was always hurting and I was working long hours and I was away from my family and whatnot. So I'm like, it ain't always about the money. You know what I'm saying? Like I would rather do a job that I enjoy and make less money than do a job that I don't like and make a ton more money. But either way, at some point, they're both a job. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when it comes to comedy, there's no school for comedy. There's no job placement for comedy. There's no comedy internships or anything like that. It's like you just gotta go out there and go through the steps. You either gotta blow up on social media somehow and then you start getting booked, or you gotta go out, pay your dues, hit the stages, get funny, because contrary to popular belief, no matter what anybody say, everybody's not funny when they first start. They may have had a first set. The first set they did may have been funny, but they may have started smelling themselves after 2 or 3 times. Everybody had a bomb here and there when they first started. But yeah, but doing that, you got to create the relationships with the comedians, the venues, the promoters, or whatnot. And in doing that, being that when I started, I was already married when I started doing comedy. That takes time away from home life, right? So at the time, I was still working the job. When I was doing comedy, I was still working the job, so I could kind of be like, all right, well, I'll just do this day, and this day, and hopefully I can make it work. But now that I'm doing, I'm working for myself. Both jobs are working for myself. Personal training on my own, doing comedy on my own. I have to actually really be out there doing the groundwork because there's so many other people. There's a lot of times out of sight, out of mind. When the pandemic happened and people start going back out, and I was just chilling for a while. I was like, yeah, I'm not about to go out for and be around a bunch of people yet.
Yeah.
People wanted to book me for shows, but they thought I had quit comedy. So, and I'm sitting there, I'm looking at flyers like, not to say I'm funnier than everybody, but I know I'm a funny guy. And I'm sitting here like, there's certain people I just know I'm funnier than. I'm like, how are they on all these flyers? How are they getting booked for all these shows? And I'm just sitting here. And the problem was, I was just sitting here. It's out of sight, out of mind. I got to be there. But in order to be there, I can't be home. Or I can't be here. So I had to put a lot of myself to the side so that I could become a comedian. So, and then when the pandemic started picking back, or people started going back out, I started training. I had to put myself to the side because I'm like, all right, I don't ever want to punch anybody else's clock again. So I have to make sure these things work and to satiate everything that's at home. So it's like I gotta be gone for this to happen. But if I'm here, ain't no money coming home. It's like all just a big circle. So I'm like, well, I either have to be out here making money or I have to be here spending time with my family doing things they want to do. And there was no middle ground for me to be able to do anything myself, is how I felt. And so, yeah, all that started catching up to me. And I'm like, yeah, I think it's time I go talk to somebody. And I did. Elevated coaching and counseling. We actually had that therapist on the show before, Sierra.
Shout out to Sierra.
Shout out to Sierra. She is a very good therapist.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I asked because I also go to therapy, and so I was just curious, and it's not something I grew up doing, and so it's like a new behavior and things.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to figure out how to navigate it for myself or what makes sense for me as well. And not a lot of people have this kind of conversation or kind of really talk about that and share. You know what I mean? And so I think that it's good to know and empower. Like, hey, it is something that we're all doing. Or I believe that we all should do, and just like taking care of yourself.
Absolutely.
It's just like eat healthy, going to the gym. You know what I mean? It's one of those things.
Absolutely. Especially us African Americans, because we all got issues. But the generation before us frowned upon therapy, especially the churches, the people from church.
Yeah,
they frown upon. Yeah, they frown upon therapy so much. Like, oh well, you just gotta leave it up to Jesus. Like, well, God put some people in position to help you out when you don't know what to do yourself. So sometimes you just gotta go talk it out with somebody. The perception of therapy was just all out of whack as we were coming up. They always said, "Oh, you're going to therapy, something is wrong," and that's not even necessarily the case all the time. Sometimes you go into therapy to make sure nothing's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you don't get an oil change when your engine starts smoking. You know what I'm saying? You go get that oil change before the engine start acting up. So
yeah, I think it's important too. Also, a lot of people get dementia and Alzheimer's, especially people of color, and I mean all people get it, right? But in their older age, and there's a psychological impact to that, right? And so, like, it could be psychiatric as well. And so, but it doesn't have to be for you to benefit from it and having a health check.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So if y'all are listening and or watching, go see a therapist. You need help. You may not know you need it, but you need it.
Jason, you were talking about a little bit about your life on, like, your business, how that impacts your passions. I really wanted to like talk about some rules that I've learned in managing your finances. Are you familiar with the 50-30-20 rule?
I've heard of it.
Well, the 50-30-20 rule is basically a budgeting rule that'll help you understand how you should allocate your expenses. Now, I know, to keep it real, not everyone can afford to allocate the 50% towards your after-tax income. Should be going towards your needs and obligations. 20% goes to saving, and then 30% is other things that you may want, and really kind of separating those things in that way. The rule of thumb is like, if you do this for a long enough period of time, you should be able to live at your normal cost of living, your lifestyle. Which, if you get to that lifestyle, you don't have to worry about anything. Did you grow up learning about budgeting and stuff like that as a kid?
Nope.
Okay. So how have you learned how to manage your finances?
Trial and error. Okay. Trial and error.
Okay. How does that make you feel?
Well, now, it was more so I don't know how does that make me feel. I mean, I definitely would have benefited learning more about it before now, but you know, the error is what really made me learn. You know, because back in high school, I've been working since a senior in high school. I've always had a job, and so being that young and with no responsibilities in the job, I basically was able to be the life of the party because I'm just throwing my money all over the place. But then when my dad started making me pay rent, I was like, hey, Friday night or Friday we going to the mall, Saturday we going to the club, and pay my dad rent on Sunday, and Monday I'm sitting in the living room on the honey buns and top ramen diet because I splurged too much money over the weekend, and all I can afford to eat all week was honey buns, top ramen, and clear fruit juice.
Oh man, with the clear fruit?
With the clear fruit, that's all I remember. I was working at Metro Foodland, and that's every day. It was like, you get a weird lunch. I'm like, you weird. Leave me alone. So yeah. So that between that and but as I got older, I started dating, like seriously dating, because before your boy was a player, so it wasn't too much dating going on. But once I actually started dating and taking dating seriously, I'm like, all right, I can't just be out here paycheck to paycheck. I gotta be able to impress these women's, and the more I got into dating, and then I started dating someone seriously, the more responsible I had to be with my money, because I couldn't, women be wanting to do stuff sometimes, and you can't be like, I don't got it all the time, or else they gonna find somebody who do.
Okay.
So it's a weird way of learning the lesson, but hey, the lesson was learned.
I can't say that's always been my experience. I mean, I feel like there have been people who are very money oriented, but I mean, I understand. I think people just want to see you have your things together and take things seriously and have a safety net. That's kind of that is attractive. Hey, safety is attractive.
This is very true. This is very true. Safety net. How much you got in your savings?
But I wanted to say, I didn't. I did learn, grow up learning some things about finances, but I had a lot more to learn at a certain point, like when I was out on my own and doing things, and I was figuring out the same way, understanding how your credit is impacted and those things. I did know a little bit, but there was elements to it that I didn't learn, and so there was some trial and error. But also I tried to seek it out and research and connect people who did know, because I knew that people were making good decisions with taxes, things like that. If you own a home, that's a good way to save money. So just wanted to share it and kind of ask about it, because it's been influential. And not everyone has to start at 50, 30, and 20. Maybe it's goal to get better every year with the percentage as well.
Yeah. And I just noticed is like the stark contrast of the way we got to where we are right now. Because it's like I was so fly by night, live my life young and wild and free. And you talk about, like, yeah, I was seeking out financial, people to, my financial advisor was this rubber band I was folding my money in. Like, how much should I spend today? As much as I let out this rubber band. That's how I got my financial help. That was it. And, I was very irresponsible. Like, I legit would be funding whole trips to the club, between gas money, pre-gaming, making sure everybody was good. You know what I'm saying? Drinks at the club. That was me all day. I was one of them idiots who used to throw money in the club.
Like repeatedly.
I mean, it'll be a certain song that come on or something. I just throw it up.
Time and place, for sure. Time and place.
Hey, man, and the worst part is it didn't work. It did not bring any extra women than I already would have gotten.
Speaking of gas, inflation is up, bro. The gas prices are climbing. Our are you feeling it? You know, we're talking about budgeting and doing things. Are you feeling it in your wallet, or are you hearing about people feeling it in their wallet?
I'm definitely hearing about it. Lucky for me, the gas station by my house for like the last week and a half has had gas at $3.99, which is still $4. But it's, you know, in my head, it's only $3.99. It's not $4. It's $3.99. But you know, yeah, I mean, you know, since I got this truck, you know, I drive a Dodge Ram, and it went from before the whole gas price hike, it was about $85 to fill up. It jumped up to like 40, 45 extra dollars to fill up now from E to, you know, there. So
And so
yeah.
that's driven from a mix of inflation is up about 7%. And so and many wages don't go up that way at the same rate as inflation. Now, when inflation is low, some people's wages could go up more, and so it depends on the market. That's why I don't correct in the same way. But also, supply chain things are impacting the cost of like our food. You've been to the grocery store lately?
Yeah, I've been there. I went to I ordered some food from IHOP, and I was like, you know, just randomly one week, it was extra like 75 cents. I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on here? And when they gave me my food, it wasn't in the IHOP box, it was in a hefty container. I was like, oh, y'all had to go to the grocery store. Y'all had to get different containers to put my food in. And that's why you charge an extra. I'm paying for this hefty box. But I'm feeling it there. My food is where I'm feeling it. Gas, not as much. Because you know, the gym I train at is not far at all. So you know, I still running off of 1 tank of gas a week. But food, man, y'all got to calm this down. Figure something out, Joe. Figure it out, Joe. Because I ain't about to be going broke so I can eat.
Hey, well, eating is a priority for me, so I'm gonna have to reshape my 50, 30, and 20 so I can.
Right. Whether it be 50, 30, 10, and 10. 10% going to food.
So what do you got going on this weekend? Like, you know, what are the shows upcoming? I know you talked about it a little bit at the beginning, but what's the vibe at some of the places? You know, you kind of talked about the vibe in one of the places you're going to in Memphis. How do you know the vibe of these places?
Some of them are just based off, you know, so Mark Ridley's Comedy Castle is one of the oldest comedy clubs in the country. So, you know, it's a comedy club that Tim Allen got his start at, and a few other people. So that's just a world-renowned comedy club. So I know the vibe of that because I performed there before, but then also because you know it's more of a mainstream comedy club, right? So for those who don't understand what I'm saying, it's more so if I was about to try to describe that term by using another industry term. But yeah, it's basically mainstream or it's urban. You know, urban insinuates more black, more crowds, a little bit more interactive, not just laughing, but actually interacting. I don't want to necessarily say rowdy, but because there can be rowdy people anywhere. But urban club is more like that. Whereas the mainstream clubs are more, for lack of a better term, white. There's more white people in the mainstream clubs. So you will probably
go into a broad demographic. That's what you're saying as well.
Yeah, so like you would probably catch a Bill Burr, John Mulaney at a mainstream club. You would probably catch a Mike Epps, D. Ray Davis at an urban club. You know what I'm saying?
Is there a subset of like urban mainstream versus like suburban or non-urban?
The club itself, I personally am more of a mainstream comic. Mainstream comedy clubs and comedy shows, you'll probably, in most cases, not all the time, most cases, you'll go up there and you'll do a more polished set where, you know, from start to finish is everything that you wrote. You know, you'll be able to deviate here and there if something's going on in the crowd, but you don't point anything out in the crowd unless it is something that you have to point out. Like, it just stands out so much. You have no choice but to point this out in the crowd. Whereas an urban show, you know, that's primarily crowd work. You know, you'll do your set, but there's no issue with somebody just like starting to show off, just going out roasting. Like, most roasting you see is going to happen in an urban club.
Okay.
So I personally, I would say I'm like right on the border. But I would say I'm more of a mainstream comic, because I do like to go up there and do my set, you know, do what I wrote, how I wrote it, you know. I don't deviate from my set too much unless it is something that is just like, there's no way I can not say anything about this.
Okay.
So yeah, Mark Ridley's Comedy Castle is a mainstream club, and I will be there tomorrow night for the Habitat for Humanity benefit show. Tickets are still available for that. The show, I have a clean show. It's a show put together by a church. It's actually my church, New Way Christian Center, on Friday. That one's at 6. It's a clean show, but what I really want people to come out, because I don't want people to assume that just because you hear clean, you're gonna hear church stuff. Like, you're gonna get preached to in your jokes or in the jokes. Like, you can be funny without being extra vulgar all the time. But then also, I also want the people who are coming for a super clean, squeaky clean show to realize comedians are adults also. So, you know, we're gonna talk about it tastefully, but we're gonna talk about some grown folk stuff sometimes. You know what I'm saying? We just not gonna be super vulgar with it. So there's a pocket you can be in where you can walk that line without getting too churchy, or not getting churchy and not getting vulgar. You can walk that line. Mike Larry is a genius at doing it. That's Mike Larry's brand. Mike Larry doesn't cuss. He's a clean comic. And he's one of the funniest people in the country. So, you know, yeah. But yeah, that's that show is going to be at a banquet hall. So who knows? You know, it's open to anybody. It's not just people from my church who are allowed. So, you know,
okay.
Some people hear comedy show and just automatically say, "Oh, I'm gonna get lit before I go. It's gonna be funnier when I'm drunk." Funnier to you, but not to everybody else, because 9 times out of 10 you become a distraction. So, yeah, but no, yeah, Friday. That is my Friday, and then Saturday is my daughter's birthday party. You know, I had to do it big. You know what I'm saying? I don't say that big, but no, we're going to see a movie. We rented out a movie theater, invited people. This is my daughter's first birthday party in 2 years. Last year we all had COVID. Year before that, COVID shut everything down. She ain't had a birthday party since 2000, and 2019 is the last time she had a birthday party. So had to do it big for her. We're not a movie theater. We're gonna go see Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Let her invite whoever she wanted to invite, and it's gonna be a good time.
Okay, and that's what she asked for. Or is this a surprise?
That's what she asked for. As soon as we found out Sonic the Hedgehog 2 was coming out the weekend of her birthday, she was like, "Can we see it?" And then I was like, "We should rent a movie theater and go see it." And that's how this happened.
I heard those are what people can do now, and they're not that bad.
And it's not that expensive either. You know, I know it sounded like I was flexing just a second ago, but it is actually quite affordable.
Hey man, what you gotta do for yours.
Right. You know, it may have sounded like I'm out here big balling, but no, it's actually rather cheap to rent a movie theater. Especially, and what's dope about it is we didn't even have to pick one of their movies. We could have brought one of our own movies, brought the video game. It's just like renting the theater. Could have brought a video game and hooked it up to the projector and played friggin' Mario Kart on a movie screen. That would have been dope too. If we have time, we just might.
Okay.
Because ain't nobody trying to see me in Mario Kart.
Well, I haven't been on Mario Kart in a minute.
I was baiting you into a game. I was trying to bait you.
I'll take one. Best of 5. Let's go.
Come on with it. Come on with it, man.
Who you got?
Well, on this new Mario Kart, I either pick Metal Mario or Link. They got Link from Zelda is on there, so I either pick one of them two. I pick either a medium-sized person or a heavy person, basically.
Okay.
So before that, I was picking Donkey Kong a lot. So you gotta know the science of the video games. You know what I'm saying? Light people like Toad and whatnot, they start off fast, but they don't. Their top speed isn't that high. Medium people, they medium people, but then the heavy people, they start off the slowest, but they end up having the fastest top speed. So you got to know. I just gave you a little tip. Gave you a little tip for when we actually had this game. When you coming back home, man?
I'll be there in May, bro.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I'll be there this weekend. So I'm going this weekend to speak at Michigan State for a program, and then I'm coming back, so I won't be able to do anything. But I'll be back in May. We're gonna rock it.
Let's do it. Let's do it. So you coming to speak at Michigan? Can you talk about that at all?
Yeah. So I got an MBA. I got a JD and an MBA at Michigan State and a joint degree program. Shout out to Michigan State. It's a great place. I appreciate it. It's been influential in my life. And so one of the programs that I was in, they just try to invite alumni back to meet the first years or the people who are potentially coming. And I attended that, and it meant a lot to see people come back and chop it up with you and tell you about the program and what it's done for them. And just like, when you make it, when you make a decision, sometimes you're not certain if it's a good one. Mm-hmm. And you want that extra context and somebody keeping it real. And, particularly for me, seeing someone who looked like me in certain roles like that gave me more confidence that I could compete or do something. They give you the game, you know what I mean? Things that won't be told to you otherwise. So I'm just doing that for someone else, and it means a lot. I appreciate them asking me, but I know someone did it for me as well. And so, just show the love.
Bet. Well, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. You got anything else coming up?
National Volunteer Day is coming up. So I want everyone to volunteer, prioritize some hours in their month to give to others. As Jason talked about earlier, also volunteering to yourself this month a little bit more, but helping others who may not be able to help themselves, or just coming together in a community, getting to know people around you. We've been in a pandemic, we've been isolated. We can be smart about it, but let's come together a little bit, and offer our services. So I'll be dropping some links over the next couple of weeks that people can sign up and volunteer for. And so just give your time away.
There you go. Kev. You got your Instagram or your name tag today. I was about to say, tell them where they can find you.
Might as well. I ain't gotta say it now.
There it is right there. Hercules Jackson at Hercules Jackson. And you can find me as always right here on all social media platforms, the Jason X Experience. So until next time, we'll be back next week. We may have a guest. We'll see how this goes. We may have a guest next week. We may not. The plan is to have a guest for y'all next week. And it'll be a fun guest.
Who do y'all want to see on the show?
Yeah, who do y'all want to see on the show? Let me know. I'll reach out to anybody. You want Dwayne Johnson? I'll reach out to Dwayne Johnson. It may not be The Rock, but it'll be somebody named Dwayne Johnson. You know what I'm saying? We'll reach out to whoever you need me to reach out to, any kind of individual, whatever profession they're in. I'll reach out to them. Between me and Kev, we'll find a way to get them on here.
I would take a Dwayne Johnson, but it's got to be the best Dwayne Johnson we can find.
It's gonna be a fry cook at McDonald's.
Okay, hey, if you got something to talk about, we can do it.
He been on the fries all his life. The fries need me. I can't move on. That's funny. Oh man, but yeah. So In the meantime, in between time, y'all, take care of yourselves, be safe, and until next time, we'll see y'all later. One of these days, I'm gonna come up with a real sign off. But
You look
until
like
then,
a 90s rapper with that hat like that and the the headphones.
bro, this definitely feel like I'm about to ride the bus back home right now. This definitely got those. I feel like, dude, did I ever tell you about, and we're gonna get out of here in a second, y'all. I'm not holding y'all hostage. I had to tell you about the first time I felt old after I turned 30.
Go ahead.
I did a comedy show for Eastern Michigan's homecoming. And I hat like this, wearing a sweatshirt, wearing some Levi's and some Jordan. And I go on stage. I'm about to go on stage. They asked me, "Oh, what do you want us to introduce you as?" I'm like, "Oh, Jason Jamerson's cool." Now, mind you, these are students hosting the show. So I get up, I'm about to go on. They was like, "All right, y'all ready for some comedy?" Blah, blah. You know, they hyping it up. It was like, "Give it up for Mr. Jason." I'm like, they just introduced me as Mr. So then I get out on stage. I'm dressed the way I'm dressed. I'm looking, I don't see nothing but skinny jeans and t-shirts, white tees and skinny jeans with the knees ripped out. I'm like, oh yeah, I look like I'm straight out of a 2000s music video.
You look like they older cousin, they brother.
Bro, I was
Older
in, I said,
brother.
I have no,
Older
I was about
uncle.
to, man, I was using slang that they probably never heard of. I left the stage and said one. They don't even know what that means. They don't know.
Yeah.
All right, y'all won. They didn't know what that meant.
Mhm.
There's like, okay. But yeah, I felt old, man. I was on stage like, I am talking to children right now.
Yo, bro, that's actually, you know what though? I remember as a kid though, people meeting people who kind of had that towards me as well. Like, man, this is how he dressed, and they looked at you like that. And similarly at work, you know, there's an age difference between a lot of people that I work with now, and so this one guy calls me sir all the time, and I'm like. It throws me off every single time. Maybe he knows it, but it throws me off. But I appreciate the respect because I was raised to call people sir or ma'am. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? I
absolutely.
know everyone doesn't like that, so you know you figure out the right context to show respect to people in the way that they would want to be respected. But you know what? I guess I'm sir. I don't overwhelmingly get called sir, but I get sir now.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. I trained some children and all of them. Coach Jason, Mr. Jamerson. Like, oh my goodness. Hey, I get it. I need to let y'all call me that for respect purposes. But it definitely ages me in my mind. Yeah. But all right, y'all, man. I'm tired of taking up your time. Plus, I got some chicken wings I'm trying to get to. So until next time, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm always have some chicken wings I gotta get to.
Okay,
I'm
I like
I'm gonna
wings as
let
well.
y'all vote my sign off. Today's sign off is I got some chicken wings to get to. I'm out of here. Peace.